All right, what's going on, guys? So I wanted to discuss something super important with you today. And that is, it's so common to see people hesitating for them to begin something, Everyone's thinking of the great idea, everyone's thinking of this next thing that they want to do, but there's so much hesitation on starting the process, on starting on that big thing or that new journey or that new opportunity. It feels good to watch more motivational videos, to read that other book, to research it, but people they're not starting on stuff. You got to stop consuming and start creating. And I think it comes down to three things. The first thing is this: you have to understand that everything's hard before it's easy. There's no quick fix. There's no get rich quick. There's no grass is greener on the other side. The stuff is just hard before it's easy. Why do you think if it was easy, everyone would do it? And not only that, when you look out there online, you see people doing this, posting that, this picture, that video. Well, you don't see the backstage. You're comparing your backstage to their front stage. It looks nice and rosy when you first look at it, but you don't see the mess back there. You don't see the mess. And because you don't see their mess, you think that they have it perfect and it's easy for them, and that's why they're doing it. But that's not the truth. The truth is that they just got through the hard part. They just got through the tough part where it was just tougher. And they pushed through. And because of them pushing through, that's why they've landed there where they can now build on something that's sustainable. So everything's hard before it's easy. The second thing I find that people are doing that's preventing them from starting is that they're comparing the outcome that they want to reach to the starting line. Think of this. You're comparing the outcome you want to reach to the starting line. Well, that's like comparing a seed to an apple tree. If you look at the seed, you're never going to be able to see the apple tree in there and the hundreds and maybe thousands of apples this thing can bear, because all you're going to see is the seed. And you're like, this is just a seed. But you got to plant it. You got to nourish it. You got to water it. You got to consistently do that. You can't compare the outcome you want to the starting line. Because you see, as soon as you start doing that, and it's okay to be focused on the outcome. Don't get me wrong. You have to have that vision. You got to have that clarity. I totally get that. But when you start comparing the outcome to where you're at, you demotivate yourself. And you start thinking, oh man, I am so far away from this thing. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to start thinking in the reference of, I need to get there and I'm way over here. So that's the second thing. Any goal that you have, keep it in your mind, but do not compare where you want to land to where you're at. That's huge. That's just huge. And number 3, this is a big one. You have to get comfortable starting at 0. You have to get comfortable starting at 0. What do I mean by that? Well, when you start something new, you're not going to have all the success that you are trying to achieve on day one. You're going to be new at it. If you're switching your job, if you're switching your career, and you're starting on a new path, guess what? You're not going to be great at that the first day. Your first video is never going to be as good as your 1,000th video. Your first anything is never going to be good as your next version of that. Your first product you launch is not going to be as good as the one that you've refined through the years, right? Your first paper you write is not going to be as good as the last one you wrote in that class. Whatever it is, you have to give yourself that time to churn your skills and skill up. You see, so many people are focusing on the outcome that they're forgetting that, hey, to get that start point and to go from zero to where they want to get to, they got to skill up. You got to get comfortable starting from zero. Starting from zero means that, hey, you're going to do the necessary things on a daily basis to skill up every day. Take another step and start skilling up. And when you start doing that, now you start getting closer to your outcome. Now you started at zero, but you progressed to 1, to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5. Eventually, you get to where you want to get to. And eventually, you start seeing that, hey, it was hard. It's becoming a little bit easier, a little bit easier. And that hard thing now becomes a little bit easier and easier and easier. And what happens? You also get the confidence in your ability and yourself to say, hey, I actually started and it was tough and I made it through. Wow, this is amazing. Your self-confidence now starts to soar because your competence goes up, right? So you got to realize everything's hard before it's easy. Number 2, don't compare your outcome to your starting line. And number 3, get comfortable starting at zero. It's totally normal. Every master was once a disaster. So I hope these 3 things help you get started. I hope these things help you push through the hesitation that is commonplace in our world that everyone faces. And if you acknowledge that these 3 things are at play and you push through using these 3 mind hacks, then you're going to get to where you want to get to and you'll be able to see your outcome sooner than you think. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought on this one. And as always, live inspired.